guys, I hope everybody is having a great day. I am sitting down to film my Q&A, which was requested. I kind of have questions just about on every video, and so I thought, why not just do a Q&A? So I had put out a couple things on my Instagram and on my Facebook. And if you are not following me on there, then you should be. And I will leave the links down below so you can go check those out. But I left some things on there for people to leave questions. I had some people message me questions. So I have 2 little note cards full of questions. So we are just going to go ahead and jump right into it. So this isn't too crazy long. And it is, let's see here, what time is it? 10:45. So yeah, let's go ahead and get right into it. So I didn't write down who these questions are from, but I didn't really have too many duplicates. I think there was two or three different duplicates. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump right into it and get started. So question number 1, how are you able to stay at home with your boys? I've had this question a few times, not just on YouTube, but on pictures I post, just randomly from people. I get asked, which I'm sure a lot of stay-at-home moms get the question, how are you able to do it? Financially, some people mentally, how are you able to? And the person that asked this question had said they just get nervous. I think, how did she say it? Let's look back here. About, let's see here. Come on, Danae. Okay, she said, how are you able to stay at home with your boys? I want to be a stay-at-home mom, but the uncertainty scares me so much. So, before Derek and I had children, we decided that I was going to stay home with the kids. Now, do not get me wrong. Financially, it was very, very hard. There was certain weeks when Easton was very little that it would be Friday, and I would be calling my husband to say, have you gotten your paycheck yet? Have you gotten your paycheck yet? You know, ask Steve to pay you, the man that Derek was working for at the time, because we needed gas, or we needed milk, or just things like that we had to have. We were poor, really. Yeah. To put it in so many words, we really were. We struggled. It was really hard. But for both of us, we knew that the best place for me was to be home with Easton. Of course, Easton at the time. So the struggle was absolutely worth it. Like I said, it was frustrating at times, and I know that it was very hard on Derek to be the only provider, but that's what we had decided and where we were at. So after having Easton, a while after, I've had a couple little small jobs on and off. Nothing ever full time. I've not ever had to put him in daycare or Gavin in daycare. I just stay home. So there's certain things I budget. We have started following the Dave Ramsey plan. We don't do a lot of elaborate vacations. A lot of people around here go on vacation every year, once, twice a year. They have brand new cars and car payments, and we have gotten to a point where we don't have car payments. We don't have student loans. We have our house payment. So it's a lot of work, but for us, it's very worth it. as my kids get older, I realize how fast it goes. And for me, I couldn't imagine missing all of those things, or just not being the one to be there when things happened, or yeah. So now, do not get me wrong. I have plenty of great friends that are working moms that go to work every day, and their job is just as hard. I couldn't imagine being on that end of it. But like I said, for us, that's just how we did it. I hope that answered your question. And if you have any more specific questions about it, feel free to leave a comment or message me. And I'd be more than happy to answer for you. Okay. How did you choose Western Oregon University? This was from Kristen Casper's mama, who I have known, of course, since I went to Western. Since I met Kristen, we would go there and eat dinner occasionally at their house, and she made the best queso ever. But anyway, how I chose Western Oregon University. Western Oregon was one of the schools on, I don't even remember what the program's called. I don't know. Anyway, when I was in high school, there was a certain number of schools that you could apply to and get, if you qualified, you could get in-state tuition. Western was one of them. I have a lot of family that grew up in, or that lives in Oregon, so I knew that I wanted to be in Oregon so I could be close to them. So that's how I chose Western. I knew somebody that went to school there that was older, and I had visited, and I loved it. So that's how I chose Western, and I'm glad I did. Let's see here. Okay, next question. How do you make or find time to clean and cook so often? Now, there's plenty of days where that is a struggle and nothing gets done. But I'm just kind of the type of person that I love a clean house. I don't like things to pile up. And I have learned over time. My kids are a little bit older right now, so this was not the same story when I had infants, when Easton was really little, or even when Gavin was very little and Easton was 3. It wasn't really the same story. Now that they are 3.5 and 6, it's very different. But at the same time, I just make it a priority. I love to cook for my family. Like I said, it doesn't happen all the time, but I do. I love to cook for them. I love to have home-cooked meals, and I love a clean house. So I guess I just make the time. I don't know how else to explain it. I just I'll get a lot of stuff done when Gavin's in school in the morning sometimes. That's when I run my errands and get a lot of stuff done. But there's also days that Gavin's at school that I come home and I don't do anything because I'm exhausted. So it's just a balance, and I've just had to figure it out over the years. So, all right. Next question. How did you meet your husband? Derek and I met. He was stationed in Alaska in the Coast Guard, and he was stationed in the town that I grew up in. So I was back from, I think it was Christmas time, I believe. I was back, and I had met him. Then I went back to Anchorage where I was going to hair school, and when I moved back to Valdez that spring, I believe it was that spring, I had met him a couple other times. Then I turned 21 in September, and we had, I'm trying to think. Yeah. I was getting ready to leave to go to Vegas. I was nannying for a family in the town I grew up in, and they were getting married, and so they paid for me to go with them so I could help watch their little one. Just happened to be my 21st birthday, and we got back, and he ended up getting, he asked one of the girls that I did their hair, I was doing hair at this point, one of the Coast Guard wives, he had asked for my phone number, so he got my phone number, and Halloween was when we actually, like, met. Like, that's when we actually, like, first talked. Before, we kind of knew of each other, but we hadn't really, like, talked or anything. Long story short, he ended up breaking his leg on Halloween, and he texted me the next day, and I still say that I think I was probably still hungover from Halloween the night before, and I didn't know what I was doing, and I went over to hang out with him and his roommates, and we played Rock Band and just hung out, and end of story. So, and next question, how did you pick your boys' names? So, if you didn't know already, my husband and I have a 6-year-old named Easton Ty Curl, and then we have a 3.5-year-old, and his name is Gavin Joseph Curl. So, Easton was going to be Wyatt. That was going to be his name for a while, and then I don't even remember where I heard Easton from. I believe Easton Corbin, the country singer, had kind of just come out around that time. Maybe like his first single came out. And I feel like I remember hearing it and thinking, I really like that name. It wasn't as popular when we named him that. Now I feel like it's gotten very popular. But that's where Easton came from. Ty is my great-grandmother's maiden name. She was Grandma Ty. And it's spelled Tighe. So that's where he got his middle name. And then, of course, Curl. That's our last name. And then Gavin. Gavin was just, like I said, same kind of thing. I don't remember where I heard Gavin from. There wasn't, like, anybody specific, or I feel like I just heard. I'm trying to think. I don't really remember where I heard it before we had him, but I loved it. Funny story, there was quite a few people that didn't like it, which I don't care. If you know me, then you know that whatever. I mean, just because you don't like it doesn't mean that I'm going to change my mind. And Derek and I both liked it, and so we picked it. And now I couldn't imagine him being anything else, and neither could anybody else. And then Joseph, his middle name, is Derek's grandfather's middle name was Joseph. So that is where his middle name came from. What was your first... Gosh, I'm sorry, guys. My allergies are crazy. What was your first job? My first job, I was... Other than babysitting and stuff, I babysat from the time I was 10, 11. My first, like, actual job, I worked at a company called Stan Stevens Cruises, right out of the town I grew up in Alaska. And it was a glacier and wildlife cruise. And I worked at the front desk. And I loved it. I worked there in the summer times, and I worked there actually until I graduated high school, and it really was like one of my favorite jobs. I loved interacting with the people that would come in, and you got to meet so many different people from different countries and states and places, and it really was great. Next question, where are you from? I grew up in Valdez, Alaska. I was actually born in Fort Walton Beach, Florida. And my dad was in the Air Force, and so we moved to Oregon. And then when he got out of the Air Force, we moved back to Valdez. which is where my grandparents and my mom grew up. And that's where I grew up. So I believe I was like 3.5 maybe when we moved back to Valdez. And so Valdez is home. I grew up there. I love it. So yeah. Next question. What was Alaska like? I get asked that question a lot, and it's hard to explain just because it's very different from, I feel like, anywhere even in the lower 48. And of course I haven't been everywhere in the lower 48, but it's very different. It is so beautiful, and the air is clean. And when I went back for my 10-year reunion 2 summers ago, I got off of the plane, and like even at the airport there, just like I took that first breath off the airplane and I was like, oh my goodness, like it's just clean, and it's just beautiful. It is a different way of life. I love it. There's not much that I miss about it. The town I grew up in was very small. I think it's like 4,000 people maybe. You knew everybody, which, of course gets irritating at times, but at the same time, it is the greatest support system, really, that I've ever seen. Tragedy happens, things like that happen, and they really take care of the families and the kids, and everybody is looking out for everybody, and it really is and was a wonderful place to grow up. Next question. How old am I? I just turned 30 in September. I guess it wasn't just, since it's now middle of May, but yes, I turned 30 the end of September. It was my golden birthday. It was my golden birthday this year, September 30th. I turned 30. Next question. What motivated you to start a YouTube channel? I started watching YouTube when my friend from college, Kristen, who I've talked about before, Kristen Casper, when she started her channel, I believe right after Braden was born, maybe. I think maybe it was after Braden was born. I can't remember exactly. Maybe it was right after Brody was born. You'll have to remind me, Kristen, because I can't remember. But I started watching, and I loved it, and I would always ask her questions about it, and I just loved the memories that she was getting. And even though not every video is like a vlog style video, even like the cleaning videos where the kids come in and we dance, or they help me clean, or things like that, I can't wait to look back at those when my kids are older. And so really that kind of gave me the push. I was very hesitant to start. I wouldn't say I'm shy, but I was very hesitant. I vlogged on my camera on my phone for a little while, and then Kristen actually sent me one of her old cameras that I'm still using, and I can't wait to get a new one that has a viewfinder. But this one has been perfect, and yeah, so I would say just the memories that I will have, and I love the creative outlet of it. I love the editing of the videos. I could watch them over and over and listen to my boys talk, and I wish that I had that many videos of Easton when he was growing up so I could just hear his little voice. Even videos like from Christmas this year, when I first kind of started, I look back and watch, and the way the boys do things, and the way Gavin says words that even now, 5 months later, he doesn't say them like that anymore. So I am so glad to have those memories. And that was really a big motivation to start my channel. Next question. When are you visiting your mama? If you can't guess, that's my mom that left that question. And Mom, I would visit tomorrow if I could. And for those of you that don't know, my mom lives in Alaska and in Montana part-time. So she's kind of back and forth. They're busy with their business. I, of course, am busy with my kids. And she does come down probably at least twice a year. And when she comes for a few weeks. Last time she was here was in September when I had my hysterectomy to take care of me, and it was wonderful. I love having her here. The boys love having her here. I think Derek loves having her here. Sometimes I think there's times that that he, of course, is like, you know, because Mom and I want to, you know, go do things and spend time together since we don't get to see each other all the time, other than FaceTime, because we FaceTime and talk every day, probably. Yeah, every day. So, technology is amazing. Okay, next question. If you could add one new thing to your daily routine, what would it be and why? Well, just recently I have started, when I get up in the morning, I try to shower and, like, get myself ready. Now, some mornings, that doesn't mean I wash my hair every day, of course, because we all know I wash my hair like twice a week. And if you think that's disgusting, then so be it, because that's how it happens. I wash it twice a week. But, and like get myself ready, wash my face, put a little bit of makeup on. Y'all know I don't wear a ton of makeup normally, but I feel like that really helps me get motivated to get things done. Because there's plenty of mornings that I get up and I stay in my pajamas and I don't want to do anything. So I have added that to my routine and I love it. Of course I'm going to get the hiccups. Let's see. Let's try to think of one more thing that I would like to add to my routine. It's kind of hard. I'm a very routine-based person already. So I don't know what else I would add to that. Probably reading to the boys every night. And now that Easton's learning to read, let him read to me. I feel like we kind of get to a point where we read because it's homework and not just because we want to read and we like to read books and the boys love books. So that's probably it. I would like to add more reading with the kids, and even just me reading stories that I know that they would like. Even that Easton might not be able to read at this point. I would like to be able to do that. So, next one from my friend Nicole. Where do you get all your energy? And this question was like full capital letters. So, I don't have energy all the time. I have plenty, like I said, plenty of days that nothing gets done. And then I have plenty of days that I just get stuff done. And for me, it's just very much a mindset that I have to get stuff done. That's just kind of how I am. I am not one to like wait around to get things done. There's definitely things I procrastinate on, but if there's projects around here that need to be done, I don't really like depend on Derek to get them done. He's more than willing most of the time to help me get them done, but I'll just do it. I feel like there's not much that I can't do. There's definitely things that I won't do. I won't really mess with electricity or, things like that. But I feel like moving furniture and cleaning and stuff like that, I can do that just as well as Derek could. And I'm here during the day, so I do it. But like I said, I mean, the energy is definitely just a mindset for me. I have to wake up and tell myself, this is what I'm getting done today. I am definitely a list maker. I will make lists, and I don't get mad at myself if I don't finish my list, or even if I don't get half of it done. For me, it helps to just write it down, and at the end of the day, if it's not done, I just say, I'll do it tomorrow. It'll happen tomorrow. The laundry will wait. The dishes can wait. I try to, when my husband gets home, unless I have to, we try to just spend time together with the kids. If we don't have baseball, we will play games or play in the playroom or, just do stuff together, because there's not a big window of time that all four of us are together, and it's just the four of us. So, I hope that answered your question. Next question. Where are my glasses from? I don't have them on right now. I have them right here, actually. This is one pair of them. And then actually in the picture the other day, I had the other pair that I got on here. And there's actually a video that I posted when I opened them. And I got them from Zini Optical. And I will leave the link down below for the website. I don't know if they carry these anymore, but I got both of my pairs of glasses for $31, I think was the total, or $35, something like that. So, and I love them. They have been wonderful. Not spending that much money on them. I don't have to worry as bad about breaking them or the kids breaking them, and they really have held up wonderful. So, that's where I got them. What is my favorite scent? That's a hard one, because I love smelly things. I love my oil diffusers. I love candles. I love my Febreze plug-in. I love that. I love flowers. If you've seen my videos, you know that I love flowers. A little obsessed. But so I would probably say floral things. I love gardenias. I love peonies. Most floral scents are my favorite. All right, what is my favorite place to shop? That is kind of a hard one for me, because it kind of depends on what I'm shopping for. Y'all know that I grocery shop at Aldi and Walmart, and I've really come to love Aldi. But I don't know. I'm not a big fancy shopper, and I don't have to go to the mall, and I buy stuff at Walmart, like my tank tops from Walmart, or I go to Goodwill, or I like Ross. We have a Ross in the town that I live in. So yeah, I mean, it really kind of depends, but those are probably some of my favorite places. All right, 2 more questions. What is my biggest pet peeve? This one's kind of hard. My biggest pet peeve is probably people saying they're going to do something and not actually doing it. Now, if everybody's honest, they do this. They, at some point, will say they're going to do something and not do it. But it's when it's made a habit of that really just irritates me. I really try to, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. If I say I'm going to help you with something, even if I wake up that day and I feel terrible or I don't want to do it, I'm still going to help you because I said I was going to. And I feel like today, that has kind of gone by the wayside, and yeah, so that's probably my biggest pet peeve. If you say you're going to do it, then do it. So anyway, and last question. It's kind of a little bit of a two-part question. How long have I been married? So Derek and I got married we got legally married in March of 2009. So we have been married 9 years. We had our actual wedding in June of 2009. And there's a long story behind that and why we did that. So we have been married 9 years. And it's so crazy to think that 10 months from now, is it 10 months? 10 months from now, a little less than 10 months from now, we will have been married 10 years. It's crazy. And then the second part of the question and the last part is, do I have any suggestions on a strong marriage? Whew. This is a hard one. I feel like anybody that has been married knows that, or anybody that is married knows that marriage is freaking hard. It is. You have days where it is the absolute best thing and days where it is the absolute worst thing. And if somebody tells you different, they're lying. because it just is. You cannot get along with somebody every day for the rest of your life. It's not going to happen. There's plenty of times that Derek and I will say to each other, I love you so much, but I don't really like you right now. And we get on each other's nerves, and it's just normal. Our relationship is evolving from, it was just the two of us for 3.5 years before we had Easton. And then, now as we've added Easton and, we had a miscarriage in between, and then we added Gavin, and, we're starting school. Well, Easton started school. Our relationship has just evolved, and it's grown, and it's been challenging. But I would say my biggest piece of advice would be to continue to date your spouse and spend time with them. Because Derek and I fell in love first. It was Derek and I before we had kids. And even still, it's Derek and I. My kids know that my favorite thing and my favorite person, second to Jesus, of course, is Derek. And I love my kids to death. Do not get me wrong. They are my life. But Derek comes before them, and vice versa. Derek would tell you the same thing. We love our kids, and we will do just about anything for them. But we come first to each other. And I think that is healthy, and that I think it's healthy for us. I think it's healthy to show our kids that. And like I said, we are not perfect, and we screw up often, and there's plenty of times that we don't put each other first, and we learn from that. And I think that that is just how we have made it through. We have, always said that divorce is not an option for us unless somebody was cheating. But it's not an option for us. We know that we will have hard times, and we know we'll have great times. But but it's not an option. And I think knowing that in the back of our mind, it helps. It helps to know that even though I screwed up, that he still loves me and he's not going to leave me, or vice versa. He knows if I screw up or if I do something that, you know, she's going to be disappointed in me because we love each other, but she's not going to just pack up and leave. Which is how, you know, God loves us, and, you know, that unconditional agape love that, no matter how much we screw up or what we do, he still loves us. And it's crazy to think that as much as I love Derek and I love my kids, that he loves us more. So that would probably be my marriage suggestion. Date your spouse. Put your spouse first. That doesn't mean you can't love your kids, and you know, doesn't mean you have to leave them behind or whatever it may be. But put your spouse first. Love your spouse. Flirt with each other. Date each other. Kiss in front of your kids. Our boys love it when we kiss in front of them. Not really. We kiss and they try to like break us up, or they, you know, of course say ew. But we make it a point to hug and dance and kiss and, you know, love on each other in front of them, so we can help teach them what a healthy marriage looks like. So anyway, that is it for my Q&A. I hope everybody enjoyed. I hope I got everybody's questions answered. If you have other questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. If you are new here, welcome. If you have not subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe. Like this video, and like I said, leave a comment down below. Feel free to follow me on Instagram or Facebook, and you're more than welcome to message me or, like I said, comment if you have questions. But yeah, I hope everybody is having a wonderful day, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.